I have been training to be a psychologist or been working as a psychologist for 30 years. And when I first took the Mindful Self-Compassion course from Dr. Chris and Dr. Kristen, and I started to ask myself, what do I need right now? I was stunned because I have been in this field and I have been helping people and I've been trying to grow myself for all these years. And I couldn't answer this simple question many times. And I had never really asked myself in this way before. I would ask questions like, how do I fix this? How do I solve this? What do I do? How can I cope with this? But I never asked myself, what do I need right now? So for me, it was something eye-opening when I took the course for the first time. And when I became a teacher, I started to realize so many other people have this same response, and even more than myself, because I already had a vocabulary of mindfulness and emotions and needs. I just hadn't asked this question, what do I need right now? And in fact, so many people have spent their whole lives trying to be a good person, to be the person I should be, to be a good child or a good friend or a good worker or a good student. And those things were all defined externally. In order to be a good student, I had to do what other people expected of me. In order to be a good person or a good friend, I'm always trying to do things for other people or do things that other people expect. So I've been paying all of my attention externally. Everybody's different. Some people may be doing a little more or a little less. But I didn't bring this attention back to me. That's one of the ways in which mindfulness is so useful, that we start to learn to pay attention to my own experience in this present moment. My thoughts, my feelings, my sensations, whatever is happening. And my needs. And this is so valuable. But when we start to do this, and we haven't done it before, we will find that we have a big blind spot where we look and we're like, oh, I don't know. And that's okay. You have to give yourself permission to be a beginner. And also Dr. Steve Hickman, who's the director of the Center for Mindful Self-Compassion, always says, give yourself permission to be a slow learner. Learn about self-compassion the same way that a tree grows or a plant grows. You will do it. You can do it. You just have to understand it doesn't happen like that. And it's a process of learning to listen to ourselves and try something and see if it meets our needs. Because when you do something and it meets your needs, you will feel it. And no one else will be able to tell you what has met your need or what has not met your need, but you will be able to feel it. But it is a slow process, a process of learning and a process of trial and error. And what you need will be different at different times. So what you need when you feel sad on Tuesday might be different than what you need when you feel frustrated or stressed on Thursday. And that's so we have to learn what we need and what do you need at different moments, at different times, in different contexts. And that's a journey of discovery that takes a whole lifetime. The journey of being human. A lot of people feel like this. And it's a sign that self-compassion is a huge shift in perspective. And sometimes when there's a big shift in perspective, we feel lost. But you know more than you realize. So try this little experiment. Sit down for 5 minutes and write down all the things that make you smile. What are the things you've already been living? You already have decades of experience. So see if you can just write down a list of all the things that make you smile or make you feel good or make you feel proud. and also the things that make you feel comfortable. Do you prefer to be alone by yourself, or do you prefer to be out with friends? Do you like looking at flowers and listening to birds, or do you like to watch funny videos on YouTube? Do you like to chocolate ice cream or vanilla ice cream? Write down. Make a list of all the things that make you smile. Maybe finishing a big project at work makes you smile. Maybe taking a walk in the park makes you smile. Maybe playing badminton with friends makes you smile. You already know a lot. And just because we have introduced a different vocabulary or a different perspective about how to be a friend to yourself does not mean that you know nothing. You know a lot, and you can rely on that experience you've had before, and you also have a new set of tools for exploring your experience and for developing the resource of being an ally for yourself. So I can also suggest one other tool. You can keep a little bit of a journal in daily life where you take 5 minutes a day to review your day and ask, what difficulty did I encounter today? And what helped me to meet that difficulty and take care of myself? And you can start to ask yourself the question, what do I need when I feel this way? And you can keep a record of what do you try, how do you try to meet and take care of that feeling, and which ways of doing that connect for you at different times. Because you'll learn slowly, and if you're like me, because I'm a little bit forgetful, if you're like me, it'll be very useful to have a record. So I have an app on my smartphone, and when I learn new things about what meets my needs, I write it down in the app, because I forget sometimes, or sometimes when I'm really upset, I just don't remember. That's one of the ways that I suggest. It's part of the normal progression of life that when we are children and teenagers, we need other people to help meet our needs. As young children and as teenagers, we are not able to meet our needs for ourselves, and we rely on the adults around us to meet our physical needs and to meet our emotional needs. And very frequently, the wonderful adults around us have the capacity to do that. Sometimes they don't, and some people have grown up around adults who just don't have the capacity to do that. And then eventually, we become adults, and we may start learning that we are the ones who can meet our own needs. So we have to make a shift at some point in life. We have to make a shift to being a person looking to other people to meet our needs, to becoming the person who meets some of our own needs. In the same way that at a certain age, we get a job and we go out and we start to make money for ourselves and support ourselves rather than relying on other people to support us. And this is a kind of natural transition of life. We can also do the same thing emotionally and psychologically. It's very helpful when parents can help their children to develop good autonomy and good skills for taking care of themselves. What does autonomy mean? Autonomy means that I can develop some ability to make judgments for myself, but I also don't lose my connection with other people and with a community. And I can trust my own judgments, knowing that I have the support of my community. In order to be successful in so many areas of modern life, this has become very important. We just have to make so many choices about daily life, and especially to be successful in a modern work environment, we need to help our children develop confidence in their decision-making ability. Now, this is enormously variable. Every person is different, every family is different, and cultures are very different about cultivating autonomy in the people in the culture. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think one of the most important things that parents can do is to encourage their children to make decisions, especially as teenagers and especially as they get older, to increasingly make developmentally appropriate decisions and to support them in making those decisions without worrying as much if it's right or wrong. Because as adults, we make decisions and we have to deal with the consequences. So the earlier in life, as adolescents and teenagers and young adults, that we have experience making decisions and dealing with the consequences of our decisions, that's how we will develop confidence in our own ability to make decisions and to deal with the consequences of our decisions. Because I don't know about you, but I make decisions, and many of them are not ideal, but I have confidence in my ability that if my decision's not perfect, I will still be able to deal. Because one of the things that I've seen is that sometimes younger people get paralyzed by this idea of making the perfect decision. You don't need to make perfect decisions, but you just make decisions, and you also trust that you have the ability to deal with what happens. And you develop this confidence through experience.